Welcome to the TO Food Show with Sonia Dee. That's me. And welcome to Toronto. In the first part of our show, we're going to be going out to the community, visiting local restaurants and eateries, talking to the owners, hearing their stories, and sampling their dishes. In the second part of our show, I'm going to be recreating a dish inspired by that restaurant or eatery. So that's what the TO Food Show is all about, guys. So come on, join me on this culinary adventure. We're here today in Kensington Market featuring Pizzeria Di Mario. Our very first episode featuring this pizzeria. We're going to see what they have to offer. Let's go on in. I'm here with Matteo.
Thank you.
You are the son
of the owner, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say, like, how did you get started in this business?
We, as a family, opened up the business on December 2020.
Oh, okay.
We found a place and we felt it was the right place, and then we opened up, and it's been going on ever since.
Perfect.
For almost 3 years now.
Nice.
It's pretty good. We've been lucky.
Nice. And it's a hot area. I mean, Kensington Market is a pretty hot area.
Yeah.
You find a lot of competition here?
No, really. There was another pizza store and they shut down.
Oh, really?
So it's us and Via Mercanti pretty much, and then there's Fresca. But it's not really about competition because I think there's enough for everyone.
Okay.
And then people like different stuff. Also, we have a different schedule.
Okay.
So we open at 4 p.m. till 4 a.m.
Oh, so we're 12
So we have 12 hours, but shifted.
Nice.
And we focus more on late night, pretty much.
Okay.
That's our niche.
Now, what would you say is your signature dish? Do you have a signature dish or signature pizza that you guys?
I'll say the Mario, probably.
The Mario?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's every pizza sells a lot. Depends some days, one or the other, but mostly I would say Margherita, that sells a lot, and Mille Funghi.
Okay.
It's a mushroom pizza. 4 cheese pizza sells a lot, Diavola. So there's not really a pizza that shines, they all do.
Okay.
In a way. But if I had to say my favorite would be probably Quattro Formaggi, the 4 cheese pizza.
Okay.
That's the best one.
4 cheese, so what kind of 4 cheese?
So it's brie, gorgonzola, which is like a blue cheese, and then mozzarella, which is the base, and then mascarpone.
Okay.
And these are the 4 cheeses that we have.
Okay, and so is this, someone created it in the family? Like, is it something that you've recreated, or?
It's a very popular pizza in Italy,
Okay.
but I haven't seen anyone doing it here, so we wanted to repropose it.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's been selling a lot. No complaint. People love it.
Nice.
So.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to maybe sample one of your...
Of course, absolutely.
Thank you. We're gonna try this here. This pizza is delicious. There's so much flavor. The crust is perfect. Perfectly cooked. The cheese is on here. Absolutely delicious. There's got to be a secret recipe in here or a secret ingredient in here. It's absolutely amazing. It's probably the best pizza I've tasted. Absolutely. Pizza Di Mario, I've sampled their dish. Absolutely out of this world. This pizza is probably the best pizza I've ever had. The fact that it's a family-run business, the fact that they work together collectively as a team to get this all done, it's authentic pizza, and you can tell it's made with love. Absolutely perfect. Hi, welcome back to the TO Food Show with Sonia Dee. That's me. In the first part of our show, we visited Pizzeria Di Mario in Kensington Market, had some great pizza, experienced some wonderful flavors, and now in the second part of our show, I'm going to be creating a pizza inspired by Pizzeria Di Mario. So stay with me as I walk you through the process. So as I walk you through the process on how I make this pizza, because everybody loves pizza, I know I do, I'm just going to show you what I use. So there's a set of dry ingredients and a set of wet ingredients. My dry ingredients would be this 00 flour, pizza flour by Robin Hood, which I love this pizza flour. And the other dry ingredient would be the Fleischmann's yeast, also meant for pizza. My wet ingredients would be olive oil and water. And I don't use any salt because I just don't think there's a need for salt. So it's 2 cups of pizza flour poured in. I'm going to add in 1.5 teaspoons of the yeast, just in my mixing bowl. Just add in 1.5 here. Then I'm going to mix the dry ingredients together. Again, not adding any salt because I don't believe it's necessary. Just mixing in these ingredients together. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to then add in 2 tablespoons of my olive oil. And as I pour this in here, this is actually an olive oil I've been using for a number of years, so I do like it, and it performs well, as I say. It's just 2 tablespoons of the olive oil. Then I'm going to add in 1 cup of warm water. Don't make it too hot, just add in, you can microwave it for a couple of seconds depending on your microwave, but just ensure that the water is warm and not hot. So I'm going to pour that into my bowl. I'm going to take my fork and start to mix. Now, some people actually use their hands at the initial process. I just find it's a little less messy when you do it using a fork to begin with, but I'm just going to continue mixing, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how I actually knead my pizza dough. So now as we continue to make the dough, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of flour and cover the area that I'm going to actually knead the dough on. Take my dough ball and just continue kneading it until you get a pretty good consistency. If you find that the dough is too wet, you can always add flour, which helps. And if you find it's a little too dry, you can always add a tiny bit more water. So continue kneading your dough. And what I'm going to say to you is that it's a very therapeutic kind of thing to do, actually, kneading dough, which takes me back to my childhood and when my parents used to, make dumplings on Sunday mornings, and they used to leave a little bit out for us. And we used to make these, my brothers and sisters and I used to make these little finger animals with it. And it just takes me back. And I really, really enjoyed that time. So I'm just gonna continue kneading this dough. And what I'm gonna do after is just a little trick that I found. So I think our dough is it's actually finished now. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna show you a little trick that I learned. And I have a bowl here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna transfer our dough ball into this bowl. But before we do that, what I'm gonna do is just pour a little bit of olive oil in here. Then I'm going to just grease the surface of our bowl, and it will help the dough actually not stick to the surface when you actually take it out upon completion. And you'll see the trick does actually work. And I'm gonna grease this here. I'm going to actually now put my dough ball, which is, it's kneaded enough. Just put it in here, set it in here. Gonna get some saran wrap to cover it. Just cover this here. Then I'm just gonna get a cloth. We're gonna keep the areas covered because you want the yeast to rise and the yeast to do the job. So we're gonna cover that, take our cloth, cover this, and we're gonna just set it aside for 90 minutes. And then when we come back, we're gonna have our risen dough. So it's been 90 minutes, our dough has risen, and we're just gonna show you what this looks like. So it's risen, and what I'm gonna do is I sprinkled a little bit of flour on the surface because we're gonna be rolling and stretching the dough now. So just sprinkle a little bit of flour on there. It will pop out, should pop out. Yep, pops out easily. And I'm going to now just continue just rolling this for a little bit, but I can tell that the dough is actually quite good. It should make quite a good pizza. So as we continue just trying to make this dough now into obviously a pie shaped, we're gonna roll this out. I'm gonna roll this out here. And we're trying to then, just put this into more of like a 16-inch pizza. So it's going to be a large pizza that we're going to be creating. So we're just going to roll this out. And when we come back, I'm going to show you how I actually prepare the pizza pan for the pizza. And we can, of course, dress it at that time. So before we finish off our pizza pie, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you two little tricks. So one is actually flouring and oiling and flouring our pizza tray. And the second is, it's just a trick that I was taught where you actually wet paper towel, just maybe 2 or 3 sheets of the paper towel, and you put it under the surface of the pan. So when you're actually rolling it into a pie shape, it doesn't actually, the pan doesn't actually shift. So I'm just going to show you what I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour some oil. Again, you can just use any kind of oil, but I use the extra virgin olive oil. Just pour a little bit on the surface here. I'm going to just grease the surface. Just grease the surface here. Again, this is a large pizza pan or pizza tray, it's about a 16-inch pizza tray. And it'll make probably about 8 good slices of pizza. So I'm just gonna oil this, and a little bit of flour on here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna tap this over by the sink. So you'll see what I'm gonna do here. Just gonna tap this just over by the sink, just flouring the surface, and just trying to cover as much of the surface area as possible. You don't have to be, don't have to get it exact, or it doesn't have to be precise, but just tap the area. This is actually a baking technique that my mom taught me when in her baking process, this is what she taught me. So here we go. And you can just pour off the excess, and you've got your oil and floured pizza tray. So we're gonna bring this over here. And then what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna take some paper towels. As I said, 2 or 3 sheets. I'm just gonna wet the surface a little bit with just some water, just to ensure that it doesn't stick when I'm rolling out my dough. It won't shift now. And when we come back, I'm just gonna show you how I finish this off. So now as we continue just to roll out our pizza dough, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make it into more of a shape, obviously, of a pizza pie. So it's gonna require, use of your hands, obviously, and your fingers. And this is actually going to be I'd say a thin crust, not the crust won't be too thick, but more of a thin crust pizza. And if you like thin crust pizza, this is actually the perfect recipe for you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna continue to make my pizza into a shape here. And as I continue doing this, I'm gonna continue rolling this out and actually forming the shape of this pie. And then I'm gonna come back in a few minutes, and then we're going to dress our pizza. So now we're ready to actually dress our pizza. So as you can see, we have our ingredients here. I have some organic pasta sauce. I recommend organic pasta sauces just because they tend to have more flavor to them than the regular pizza sauce. That's my personal preference, but you can use whatever you like. But I like this one by President's Choice. And I also have pepperoni. I have green peppers. Today we're gonna put some tomatoes on it. Again, tomato. You can put on any kind of tomato. This one is, it's actually Roma tomatoes. Then we have some Kalamata olives, green olives. I've chopped up some mushrooms, just some regular white mushrooms. I have some hot peppers because I don't believe that pizza is pizza without hot peppers. And of course we have our cheese. The cheese is way more than we actually need, but again, you can put as much or as little of the ingredients that you want. So we're just gonna dress our, actually, almost forgot one trick. What I like to do is I like to aerate my pizza or the actual dough. It just allows the heat to come through it a bit better, and the pizza does cook a little bit more consistently. So just aerating this, kind of like how you aerate your lawn. So now we're gonna pour on our pasta sauce. And again, there's no right or wrong way to do this, but I do like my surface covered, you know, with a little more pasta sauce than maybe the average person needs or average person uses. So I'm gonna just pour this out here to just to the edges so that we coat the entire pizza. That smells very good, very, very aromatic. So we're just gonna continue with this here. And then we are going to, I think that might be enough actual sauce. Maybe just a tiny bit more. Just a tiny bit more. And then I'm gonna start dressing it with the other ingredients. And I wanted to start with the pepperoni just because I want the heat to get to the pepperoni as much as possible to cook it. And during this time, you want to make sure that your oven is preheated. 450 degrees for 20 minutes. That's enough to cook a pizza this size. And just going to start dressing this here with some pepperoni. Just dressing it all over. I'm going to dress this here. This is one of the foods that you actually make that it's very interactive. And if you like your food to be interactive, this is pizza. So yeah, that might be enough. Oops. And then we're going to put on our hot peppers. So we'll sprinkle on our hot peppers here. Yeah, this pizza smells very good so far, and it's not even cooked yet. So now this is all layered. Again, I put hot peppers on here, and now we're going to put on our cheese, which is the final ingredient that we put on here. And again, you can put as much or as little cheese as you want. I don't know if there's a pizza without cheese. I don't think I've ever heard of a pizza without cheese, but maybe there is. I don't know, but I do. I love cheese on my pizza. It just, it really melts, and it's just ooey and gooey and flavorful. And this is just a simple mozzarella. And yeah, I may have enough cheese here, but I'm just gonna put this out to the end. Maybe just a tad bit more. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna finish it off with just a little bit of a sprinkling of black pepper and some oregano. So it's gonna just a little pinch here of the black pepper, a little bit of a pinch, and of course just some oregano on here. And then after this, we're ready to pop it in the oven. And again, your oven should be preheated to 450, and you'll stick it in for 20 minutes and we're good to go. So now our pizza is actually ready to go in the oven. Again, preheated at 450. We're gonna put it in for 20 minutes. And we're gonna put it in our oven here. And in 20 minutes, we're gonna come back and try our pizza. So now I'm excited, our pizza is done. So we're gonna go over to the oven and just see how it looks. So So it's, again, been in for 20 minutes now. So we're gonna go in here and have a look at this. Oh, wow. This looks amazing, amazing. Look at all the color in the pizza. The hot peppers, tomatoes, it's delicious. So we're gonna just let it sit for a couple of minutes while the flavors infuse, and of course give it just a chance to cool down before we cut it. And then when we come back, we're gonna do our taste test. So now I can't wait to dig into this pizza. So it's sat for a few minutes and it's now cool. I'm just gonna take a slice of this out here and I'm gonna try this pizza. So again, just giving it a couple minutes to sit helps to infuse the flavors. And I'm just gonna try this. Again, I will just apologize in advance, the fact that I like to eat my pizza with a knife and fork. But I'm just gonna cut into this here. And I'm gonna try it. Still very hot. Delicious, it tastes delicious. Those pepperonis I can really taste. The sauce, the hot peppers, the Kalamata olives, that tomato, oh my goodness, that tomato. So delicious. You know what, I hope you all try this recipe. Again, it's very simple, tasty, quick, and so worth your time, so worth your time. So thanks again, guys. I'm gonna get back to eating this delicious pizza. Thank you for watching the TO Food Show with Sonia Dee. That's me, and we'll see you next time. So thanks again for watching the TO Food Show. Like, comment, and subscribe so we can grow the channel and bring you more great content.